welcome back to another episode of the House Divided podcast. It is the final episode of the college football season as we are entering the national championship between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Miami Hurricanes. And it is one of the second round of the NFL playoffs. We had a big week in the NFL, a lot of great games. Unfortunately for me, our game was just not close at all. So that was a heartbreaker. For me, though, I went 2-2 in the best bets to bring me up to a grand total of
I think 36, 32, and 1.
32 and 1. And Rod's went 2-2 as well, a bit of a tie weekend, to bring him up to 61 and 56 for the year.
Yeah. Both a little over positive, both average weekends. Playoffs are always tough to predict because it's obviously elite teams going against each other, close spreads. So we'll take 2-2, but we'll step it up this week. Don't worry, guys. But first order of business, we'll go, like you mentioned, the semifinal games here of the college football playoff. Miami holds on in a thriller there in the fourth quarter. A bunch of lead changes going back and forth versus the red hot Rebels without most of their offensive coaches. What were your thoughts on this game, and what'd you like, what'd you not like, all that?
Yeah, I really liked the fight that Ole Miss was able to put up. I mean, I was here and said I was very scared about what the playing without so much of the offensive staff. Makes you wonder if they'd had that offensive staff, would they have won? Obviously, 27 points is a good amount of points in a game like that, but they'd always been an offense that was more of a 38 kind of point, like that would have won them the game this week. So you kind of wonder if that would have been the difference in that game. I very much could have been. Trinidad Chambers played a great game towards the end. There were four picks that could have been picks that I think were clear drops by Miami, which really scared me and kind of show you some of the flaws in Trinidad's game. But towards the end, he was playing very solid. Obviously for Ole Miss, heartbreaking way to end the year, but you gave a great fight that not a lot of people, including myself, thought you were going to be able to give. You beat Georgia, which is you have a playoff win, which is a great way to end your year. It's monumental, especially when they're the first two games of your new coach's career. And I think that's going to be huge for them recruiting-wise, and really to keep the Guayno Trinidad. It's most likely gone. He's appealing, but that's good for them. You have a piece. Oxford is going to be a nice place to be for them. That was a good run for them. For Miami, I mean, as we said, they'd kind of been relying on the defense. That's what's been keeping them in games. Maybe the best defense in the country for the last couple of weeks, in some people's opinion. They played decent. Obviously, towards the end, it was very high scoring with the 27 points. But it was nice to see that offense, which was kind of going to be like Beck, was going to be the one we all had the expectation of. It's going to be on him, whether he plays poorly, turns the ball over, he plays well. He played well. He's the one who had the game-winning touchdown, and he's been in the big moment before, sure, as a backup, but he's seen it, he's learned it. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he takes that experience in the national championship game to this game.
Yeah. Completely agree. I think great game for Miami offensively. Defensively, not bad either. It's a high-powered offense. A little scary at the end. Thought maybe Ole Miss was going to create something with those, I think, 17 or 11 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
But Carson Beck, I mean, early in the game, Miami enforced their will on the ground with Fletcher. He had a good game as well. And then at the end, when they needed the guy they paid $4.8 million to step up, he did. He led him down the field. Some tight throws, and receivers made some great catches on third down and fourth down. And yeah, he ran it in wide open. Someone probably got very lucky with that Carson Beck anytime rush TD. But yeah, no, man, great game. Great fourth quarter, very entertaining compared to this other game we're about to talk about. And Miami continue their run from being out of the playoffs every week till the last week to the national championship. And I think they have a real shot. This defense is really good, and if Carson Beck played like he did when they play Friday, Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday they could pull off an upset here. But yeah, man. All right, this next one, I kind of alluded to. Indiana dominated Oregon in all aspects. give me your thoughts on the game, and do you think this is an all-time team? I've heard a lot of crazy
they're
statements
definitely an
out there.
all-time team. The score somehow looked closer than the game actually was, and it was still a blowout score. Um, Fernando Mendoza played a perfect game. He distributed perfectly. More touchdowns than incompletions again. Through the ground game again, they were dominating. They could run as much as they wanted against an Oregon defense that I've hyped up all year, and I is actually very good. It was just how crazy good this Indiana team is. Dominant offensive, dominant defensively. Getting a pick six to start the game is one way to send a message. Incredible. Just obviously the debate has been really, is it this team better than LSU 2019? And I don't know if they are, but they're making a debate to be one of those teams that you mentioned when speaking about the greats.
Yeah, I think before you crown them the greats, they got to get the job done. They got to win the ring.
Exactly.
But if they do win the ring, I mean, this team is probably up there in the top 5 all time. Obviously undefeated. So impressive. I think that LSU team was different, man. Not even the names on the team. I think they're the only team to beat 5 or 6 top 10 teams, and they only trailed once by double digits, and it was the national championship, and then they came back and blew them by 40 or 30. But Indiana, great game. I think Dante Moore decided to come back to Oregon after that first play interception. After that first play, he was like, "I'm coming back." And I think he had 2 fumbles, so that was the difference. Obviously, it's hard to stop Indiana's offense, but you give them a short field, and you can't do very much. And obviously, the defense put up 7 themselves. So Oregon, obviously not how you want to go out like that. Maybe want to put up more of a fight, but for Indiana, dominant win, continue to roll. And you got a tough matchup, but I mean, I think they're favored by 8.5. We'll speak about it later, but great game. They really put the country on notice again that they are for real and one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. What's your take, though, more on the Dante Moore? We talked about last year. Do you think he should stay?
I thought he should go because for me, he was a surefire number 2 pick.
He was a surefire
So
number 2
he gave up a lot of money. I know he definitely got money for coming back, but I don't think the Jets is that bad of a team to.
No, they're going to have 2 first-round picks this year and next year.
I guess he wants to develop more, and I mean, he's going in a quarterback class that I think it's more loaded than this one, so I don't really understand it unless he knows he needs to improve a lot.
Which I do think he does. He's a little raw, but to me it's just the thing of being the slam dunk number 2 pick this year. Where you go, because next year you could always fall. Even if you fall off a little, there's a lot of other QBs out there: Arch Manning, Sam Levitt, Norris Sellers, Julian Sayin. If he decides to declare early, there's a lot of quarterbacks out there that could take those spots. He could end up seeing himself as a QB5, which as a Steelers fan, I'm like, we'll probably be picking 20 again, so maybe we could get QB5, and that's Dante Moore, which I'd be happy with. But if you look at it from a this year point of view as a Steelers fan, it does upset me a little because now Ty Simpson's going to go earlier, and he doesn't have a chance to fall to us.
I don't think the Jets take
I don't
Ty
think
Simpson.
they take him at 2. Maybe
if I was the Jets
maybe
now,
they could take him with the Colts pick.
I would trade back from that, unless you have a guy you really, really want at that number 2 pick. But
they also have the Colts pick at 15.
Yeah. But
which is really good picking.
That concludes our reaction here for college football. We'll go to Wild Card Weekend. I think
Panthers, Rams.
The first 4 games were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The last 2 more of a defensive battle, kind of blowouts ish, but no, the first 4 just entertaining back and forth. Especially this first one, the Rams escape a tough game in Carolina. I'll give my thoughts here. I think obviously the Rams, you take a dub in the playoffs on the road. A little concerning. Bryce Young kind of dotted you up a little bit. They didn't really do it to the ground, which was Carolina's strong point during the season. It was really just Bryce Young. And, I mean, on the Carolina perspective, love to see that from your young quarterback, be able to lead his team down the field and in late fourth quarters get touchdowns and field goals. So, love to see that for the future. Love to see your team put up a fight against kind of consensus Super Bowl favorite. And from the Rams, I mean, you escaped. You got a dub. Defense a little concerning. Offense, Puka, obviously, massive game. Kyron Williams had a good game too. Stafford did what he did, managed the game, and late game led his team to the victory, which is what you want. So, obviously, great win from the Rams, and you got to win probably 3 road games to get to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, most likely. I don't think it could. I don't think the Niners get the job done against San Francisco. So I do think it's going to be 3 road games. I do think that playing in Chicago and eventually playing in most likely Seattle might be a little easier on them. It's less traveling going all the way to Carolina. So I think that does impact a little for them. But obviously for the Rams, they ended up getting the win, which is great for us because I couldn't have both of my teams who I picked to be in the Super Bowl to lose week 1. So it was nice to see that they're through. Obviously, as you said, it was the receivers, particularly Puka, that was able to help them through. The defense to me is a concern. It's been a couple of big games now where they've let up a lot of points. They do have the offense to be able to score as much as they want in the necessary games, but it is a little concern, especially when you're going up against Chicago that's put up a lot of points before, and Seattle that already has put up a lot of points on you before. So that's definitely something to worry about for the Rams. Hopefully Shula is a great coach, and he's a candidate who's a lot of teams are going to win, and he's kind of the caliber coach who'll be able to turn around. And I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow hold Chicago.
Well, they'll hold Chicago to like 3 points in the first half, and then the second half they'll hold them to like 20.
Yeah, there you go.
It just if they can blow them out, but we'll speak about that game later. Speaking of the Bears here, man, an insane second half. We actually watched. Well, we watched both of these together, but we watched this one together. They came back against the Packers. What were your thoughts on this game and the Packers with an awful choke here?
Yeah, I was really upset about this one. I was like, I really like Green Bay. I picked Green Bay. Most people were picking Chicago.
It's the 7 seeds, man. They just don't win.
Yeah.
I got fooled with the Chargers. I'm not blaming you.
I was so sure I was going to pick the Patriots when I came in here, and then I was like, you know what? I've been loving the Chargers all year, but every time it came to pick for the Chargers, I ended up picking
No. It's my fault, man. My points swayed you.
But back to the Packers. I really liked the Packers from the beginning. I thought they were a little more complete. And for the first half, it looked like I was right. Then Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams turned it around. He started making some incredible throws. That one.
The fourth down
to Rome. Insane throw.
A legacy throw right there.
Yeah. That's one where if they win this whole thing, you're going to see that play.
On loop.
3 years from now, they're going to still be showing
even if
play.
They lose this week, man, you
see
that play on loop.
But there's those plays that they are great, but when it results in you winning a ring, they're magnified and they become historic. Yeah. So I think that's the play that could become historic of the run. Yeah. It was just an incredible throw. So Chicago, I mean, you got to see more of that. We want to see your second half offense for both halves is what I want to see going forward. For Green Bay, you obviously had the injury of Micah Parsons was really hurting you here. I don't feel like there was a lot of pressure on Caleb, especially in that second half. That caused a lot of moments. So he was kind of the different.
It was
factor.
He had some pressure, but he was able to get away.
He was able to get away, which is kind of what you want to Mike, because
Micah can chase him down.
He can chase guys down exactly. So there's that, and then from the Green Bay side on the offense, just fell apart in the second half. Yeah. It looked really well in the first half. Christian Watson was getting going. Then when Matthew Golden finally scored his first touchdown, I was a little excited, but they just couldn't find it in the tough moments to get the necessary first downs and be able to control the game. And they really allowed Chicago to come back.
It's the same thing we've been talking about since Jordan Love took over. They need, these receivers are good and good, but they need that number one guy where, when the offense is struggling or crunch time, they need someone to get open. They need that one guy that can, if he's getting 1v1, they can find him easily or take a double team and get those other guys.
It might have been Tucker Kraft and he's just been hurt.
Yeah, maybe, man. But I think you said it beautifully, Caleb. Great down the stretch. That throw, I remember seeing it live. Just went crazy. great game. Obviously, want to see some consistency. Just don't want to see it in the second half. But defensively, I mean, you got the stops you needed in that second half and gave your offense a chance, and the offense took advantage. Ben Johnson beat Matt LaFleur twice, like he said he would.
Yeah, like you said he would.
And I think I saw something. The Bears have led a total of like 5 seconds, and they've won 2 games against the Packers in their 3 matchups. So that's pretty crazy and pretty impressive as well. So great game. What you want to see on a Saturday night game there?
Yeah. Yeah, very exciting, which is kind of what we want from the playoffs. 2 very exciting games on Saturday, and it continued early in Sunday morning with a very exciting game to kick us off between the Jacksonville Jaguars and Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Our Super Bowl AFC representatives going at it.
And now that Jacksonville's out, my AFC representative is indeed Buffalo. So, what's your takeaways from that game?
I think that defense stepped up a little bit like we thought they would. And I never thought this defense would be like a Texans or a Patriots that can hold a team to 10 points. But, I mean, what they were doing in the regular season, lining up 30-plus every week, wasn't sustainable. But that 20 to 24 mark, Josh Allen can win any game if you just give him that. And obviously, they created that 2 picks from Trevor Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken.
One to seal the win.
Yeah, so if you can give Josh Allen a turnover and 20 points, around 20 points, he'll win the game. And that's what he did, man. He led his team down the field with that rushing touchdown. Got carried for an extra 10 yards in that 4th and 1 at the 10, and then obviously ran it in from there. But they have some receiver problems. So a couple went down here in this game, and I think they only have 3 healthy on the roster. There's some clips of corners working on some routes just in case something happens. So that's a little concern going forward, but, I mean, Josh Allen can do anything with anyone, and James Cook, he wasn't really going like as good as he can be, so I think they'll focus that this next game. They're going to need to, and then if this defense can play kind of like they did this game, I think this team can go all the way. And then Jaguars, obviously good stepping stone, but obviously you're at home, close game. You don't want your quarterback turning the ball over. The defense, to me,
I mean, I'll say he shouldn't have thrown that because it was very tight coverage, but that was not entirely his fault. It was a lucky bounce for the last interception.
Yeah. But his team, the defense held up against Josh Allen better than I thought they would, and they kept them in it. And I think it was a great game. It was a game of inches, really. There was that 4th down with Trevor Lawrence with the knee, just a lot of things that could have gone a different way. And unfortunately, the veteran team here in the Bills took this one home.
Yeah, I mean, fully, as you said, I do think it really did come down to Josh Allen versus Trevor Lawrence. In the end, Trevor Lawrence made the bad play, and Josh Allen made that great play on the QB sneak and a lot of the throws he made in the entire drive. For the Jaguars, I hyped them up the last stretch all of December. I mean, and I think appropriately so. They were very close to winning this game. Obviously for them, it's about next year now. You're going to get Travis Hunter back, which I think could be very big, both offensively and defensively. You don't have a first-round pick, but not really. I don't think you're kind of looking like at the Rams a couple of years ago. You don't really need the first-round pick if you can go out and get the right players in free agency and later in the draft, which hopefully they can. The good news is for the first time in Trevor Lawrence's career, you have the right coach. And Trevor Lawrence playing the best football of his career. Outside of those 2 interceptions, I don't think he played that bad. He played a decent game. So, definitely just a lot to look forward to if you're a Jaguars fan in the future. And for Buffalo, hopefully this is your year. You're going to have to go every game on the road.
Yeah.
But hopefully this is your year. Maybe that's what makes it different. You don't get any home games. You have to go on the road.
Hey, well, I think this was the first road playoff win in forever.
Win.
Since 1996
since
or something.
In the 90s, since Jim Kelly.
Yeah, so
it's very big. You're going to go on the road. You beat this team in the playoffs last year. There's a bit of a pedigree there. It's the Haley Steinfeld Bowl. She was a Broncos fan before. So I think they just need to lean on Josh Allen, as you said. If they can hold Denver again to 24 points, Josh Allen can put up 27.
Yeah. But
wide receivers are an issue, but they've kind of been all year. So
but they still got Shakir, which is their main guy, and Kean Coleman. But besides that, man,
I mean, you can always run with the 2 tight ends, 3 tight end system. They've even run.
All right. So going on to the afternoon here, the 49ers defeating the reigning Super Bowl champs here. The big story, obviously Niners winning, but also AJ Brown drama. You think he's gone, and what are your thoughts on this game?
I think they're going to stick together with I think the Eagles stay together. I think he had a bad game. He had a lot of drops, and it's obviously been a rough year for him, not getting the ball as much as he wanted, taking a little frustrations out, and then he did get the ball a couple times this weekend. He had the drops. They've already moved on from their offensive coordinator.
Good, bro.
Yeah. I think a lot of the fault does come down to A.J. Brown. A lot of fault comes down to their OC, but a lot of fault also comes down to the head coach and to Jalen Hurts, who missed a lot of throws. Wasn't particularly the best game he's ever played. Just a really flawed game from that offense, I'll say. So I think it was good. That defense did a lot of effort to keep them in the game, keep it close. But I still think it was just a rough year for them. They won the Super Bowl. If they just find the momentum again, if they get the right OC, I think they're fully prepared to go ahead and win the division next year and try to make a run. I think the most important important thing for Phillies, I think, it's to stay together and kind of try to find that momentum again. For San Francisco, I mean, another win and another injury.
Yeah.
I don't know how they somehow keep doing both. But yeah, big win over a team I thought they were going to beat. I'm very glad they did. I couldn't take another wrong game after I predicted so many wrong this week. So I'm glad the Niners were able to pull it off. I'm a lot more concerned. You already lost to Seattle 2 weeks ago, and you only put up 3 points, and now you're not going to have your best weapon in George Kittle, or best receiving weapon because you have McCaffrey, who is your best weapon. So it's going to be, I think, a CMC. You're going to have to lean on CMC, and we'll see what happens. But I'm scared for San Francisco. I'm not as confident in San Francisco going into this week than I was last week.
Yeah, I agree. I think, well, I kind of disagree. I do think they should stick with A.J. Brown if you're the Eagles, but I think A.J. Brown is fed up and maybe it's just because it's fresh on his mind, but I think he wants out, and I think he will be asking out, and I think he will be traded because there's so much toxicity in that locker room. I don't know where, but hey, some team could use him. But if I was them, I would stick together, obviously. Saquon, kind of like what I thought, he would have a big game. That Niners rush defense isn't the best, but when Jalen Hurts had to make plays, he just didn't really show up. Devontae Smith had a good game. I think he had like 6 catches, a couple yards, and he seemed to be Hurts guy down the stretch. But Niners side, I think beautiful play call with that Jawan Jennings touchdown pass. They were struggling offensively before that. They needed something different, a spark, and they brought that spark, and that's when they took the lead and just kept answering Philly's field goals. And I think that was the difference, the Niners holding the Eagles to field goals for most of the game, and Niners scoring those 2 touchdowns. So obviously Purdy had 2 picks, if I'm not mistaken, so he needs to take care of the ball. But I mean, he won the game, but he needs to take care of the ball especially against the Seattle defense. But we'll speak about that later.
Yeah, and then the Sunday night game was the first of the not so exciting. It was, I believe, a 13-point game. New England was able to handedly beat the Chargers. I guess I'll start us off. From a Chargers side of things, that was brutal. You obviously don't have your 2 starting tackles. You haven't had them all year. But that interior of the offensive line might be even worse than the backup tackles. That was very hard to watch. Justin Herbert just got hit and hit and hit. I think he got sacked, 5 or 6 times, which is actually
probably more, man.
Which was a similar number to the amount of times Drake May got sacked. It was just the amount of times he was hit and pressured that weren't sacks. That was incredible. I mean, it looked like he was needed. It was bad. He looked hurt. And then offense, there was just too many drops as well. He was overthrowing it also because of that. But when they did hit the hands, I saw Keenan Allen had a horrible drop on the 3rd down, I think. Lad McConkey I saw drop the ball, and Quentin Johnston was dropping the ball. So not great at all offensively. Hampton obviously couldn't really play. Just bad offensively all around. Defensively, I thought they did a phenomenal job, not just holding New England to 16, and I think the only fact that New England could only score 16 was because they were getting the ball so much because of how little the Chargers offense could do. So great job to Minter, great job to the defense. They were absolutely phenomenal. They got to Drake May a lot. They
caused
couldn't
some
beat him,
fumbles
but
as well. Yeah.
but they were able to sack him and get in his head a little. From a New England side of thing, little concerns about the offense, but I mean that was a great defense, and we knew that coming in. This was kind of expected, and it's nice to see Drake May was able to score a touchdown, overcome some of the early
Hunter
hits.
Henry, man.
Yeah,
Against his old team.
So big game from them. Get the young quarterback his first playoff win, and defense. Wow, I mean, we knew the Chargers had been a little underperforming offensively, but holding a team to 3 points in the playoffs is really impressive. So very interesting to see how that defense is going to go. Milton Williams has really changed them since he came back, so it's going to be interesting to see how they perform against Houston next week.
Yeah, I think this game, I don't know, I just thought the Chargers would win. I had a feeling, but looking at and analyzing it, probably should have known.
Yeah.
Patriots have the best rush defense in the league, and Herbert with no tackles was just a recipe for disaster, and we saw it, man. Like, can't blame Herbert for anything. Man had 1 second to throw the ball each time, and props to this New England front. But I mean, obviously you have to shore up that interior because obviously you get those big, massive, amazing tackles back next year, and that'll make your receivers play better. They'll have more space because teams will have to send more blitzes. So I think the difference here, New England would send 4 most of the time. Their occasional they engage 8, but
they didn't need to do a lot, and they were getting to them.
So. Yeah, so I think that was the difference. And yeah, like you mentioned, that Chargers defense did amazing for the situation, being on the field most of the game. So can't blame them. Drake May got the W at home. You get another home game here against another elite defense. So this game's gonna be a defensive battle. Gonna be fun to watch. But yeah, that concludes for that game. And then here we go, man. We move on to your team here. Texans win despite 3 turnovers by Stroud, versus I think the worst offensive performance I've seen in the NFL in a playoff game in a while.
Hey, we doubled the amount of points the Chargers put up. Please, have some respect.
But they looked like they were generating a little more, man.
Yeah, I'll start us off with the Texans. Great defensive performance, kind of what we expected. It was anytime, obviously they were trying to go very quick, the Steelers were, and anytime they didn't go quick, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson were causing chaos, as you saw in the fumble.
Yeah, and with
touchdown.
No mobility back there, it was
so
impossible.
It was just brutal there, and then the back end, they were very solid. I know the Steelers don't have the best receiver room, but Derek Stingley was, again, phenomenal, and that entire back end was just great. Offensively, I think is kind of what we want to talk about the most. Very concerned with Houston.
Nico Collins going down.
Yeah, he goes down with I think it was a concussion.
Yeah.
And then C.J. Stroud just played a very bad game.
Yeah.
This is one of those winning despite kind of blowing out despite kind of situations.
It's just that defense, man.
Yeah. I think it was only 17 points with the offense, or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they missed one of the extra points, so I think it was 13 with the defense.
Yeah.
So you kind of wish more when you were in offense, just not a great game from Stroud, which is concerning because you're facing another good defense in the cold again, even further up north, so longer trip. So definitely concerned with that offense. Maybe you want to see him run more, lean on that rushing game, but that O-line's been a concern all year, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think obviously kind of like what I thought, this Texan defense being elite. A little concerning that first drive. I thought, DK with those 2 big catches. Yeah, I think he had 50 yards in that first drive. And I was like, this could change a couple things. But then those pass rushers locked in, and Rodgers was frustrated. I mean, there was not much he can do at his age, and his receivers weren't getting open quick enough, so there wasn't much he can do. Wish they could have gone maybe Gainwell a little more creative plays with him. He's, I think, your best gadget offensive player. He had a drop, maybe 2 drops, if I'm not mistaken. And defensively, obviously, I mean, they kept the Steelers in for 3 quarters, and then the turnovers just got out of hand.
The touchdowns were defensive, they kept us in, and it was they got to the point where you just can't do anything. You're down so much.
Yeah, and shout out Christian Kirk, massive game.
Yeah,
new wide receiver 1. Stroud, this next game needs to take care of the ball and let his defense just do what they do, man.
Yeah, I mean, just you summed it up perfectly. Just let the defense take care of things.
Don't do
anything crazy.
Don't be a negative. You don't have to be a crazy positive to win games.
Yeah, let me touch on the Steelers now for a little. Just bad all
Hey,
around.
but you're happy, man.
I'm happy. Coach. There's a new era in Pittsburgh. A lot of great coaching candidates out there. We'll see who we end up getting. I think we're gonna stick to what we've done for 3 coaching hires in a row. We're gonna get a young assistant. I'm just hoping we change up one thing and it's offensive and not defensive. I think in the new modern league, it's more about offense, and I think it's 13 of the last 14 Super Bowls have been offensive coaches. So I think there's something you need to follow, and I think I want an offensive coach.
Well, it's because you have all the pieces on defense, maybe, but offense just needs a lot of work.
Yeah, it's gonna need a lot of work. We're gonna need a new QB. We're gonna need wide receivers. Because I don't think without Tomlin, I don't think Rodgers is coming back.
Yeah, no.
So I think we're gonna need a new QB. I hope we go young. Ideally, we either draft. I don't want to trade up. I don't think he's worth the trade up. If Simpson falls to 21, you take him. Or if not, you wait a year. Malik Willis, I think, is a good option. I don't think he'd be as great with us as he is in Green Bay. We're not that. We're not as a stat. We don't have the offensive mind yet, so we'll see. Veteran options, I don't think Daniel Jones is coming here or anything like that. So it's curious. I'm not the biggest fan of Kyler Murray or Tua Tagovailoa right now, so I really wouldn't like to get them. But that's more for off-season talk. Just the game against the Texans was just bad. I mean, the defense didn't look like at an elite level, but they played well enough, tried to keep us in. It was just the offense that was bad. Nothing from the receivers, nothing from the QB position. The rushing game had its moments, but it was nothing special. Yeah. Just not great. Just very defeating to watch.
Yeah, hard game to watch there, man. I'm sorry, but hey, you were in the dance, and we got some off-season turnover that you got to look forward to.
Yeah, hopefully this is it, man. We're in the stairway to 7.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the predictions here for the divisional weekend. The first one being Josh Allen here. Can he pick up his second playoff win, in his career versus the 1 seed Broncos?
Yeah. We teased it a little earlier. You obviously has them as their Super Bowl pick. I had the Jaguars being the Super Bowl, but I did say whoever wins that game to me is going to be the Super Bowl pick out of the AFC. I'm going to stick by that. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. Especially over the last part of the year, that Broncos offense has been very concerning to me. They've put up low amount of points against defenses. They should be putting up a lot of points. That defense is still going to be great. They're still going to be able to stop some things. But, the game against Jacksonville showed you that they're not invincible. Like, they can be attacked if you find the right spot. And a QB like Josh Allen will find the right spot. So I think this is a Buffalo win. I think this defense, as you said in your analysis against Jacksonville, the spots are there. They're not necessarily going to face a strong rushing team, which has been, in my opinion, their biggest weakness.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think they have the right moments, the right personnel to be able to stop Denver. And hold them, as you said, to that 20-24 range. And I think they will. I think they might even hold them to 17 because I'm concerned about Denver coming off a bye and everything. So I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with the Bills. No shocker here. They're in my Super Bowl. I think what you said is perfect. I think this Denver offense isn't powerful enough to put up 24 against some defenses, and I think the Bills in the playoffs will step up and hold them to that 20. Yeah. And like you said, Denver's not the most lethal rushing attack, and Bo Nix, there's times he gets frantic and doesn't take care of the ball, or he misses some throws, and I think it's going to be a lot of similar, especially here in the first half. I think the 2 weeks off is definitely going to affect a young team like Denver here. I think the bye week benefits
The
experienced
veterans,
teams.
yeah.
So I do think there's going to be some jitters early on, and I just think you give Josh Allen a lead in the second half, he'll find a way to put the game away.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Especially with that part about veterans really kind of being the difference. We kind of saw, I think that's why Indiana was able to do so well. I mean, when your average age is 23, you're going to be able to. That's what Tom Brady said. It's like, well, because it's not a bye week. Like, we know how to use it, and I think that's what veterans really know how to do. And a young team like Denver might struggle in that situation like that.
Yeah.
Especially against the veteran in Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we have another one of the top seeds playing their first game in the playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers go back to a rematch of the Week 18 battle for the 1 seed. And it's time to see if the Seahawks winning that 1 seed will pay off in this big game against San Francisco. What are you kind of seeing for?
Yeah, I think it will pay off. I do think, obviously, it's still a youngish team, but I think this defense is just elite, and the Niners' injuries and obviously a cross-country trip back to the West Coast. I do think Seattle, they won week 13, or week 18, 13-3, and I think it's going to be more the same. I think it might be ugly. I think Seattle can put up more points even. I think it might be 27-10 or something like that. I just don't see a way the Niners can put up enough points and hold Seattle to 13 again. I can't see, especially with Kittle being out. So I am going to take Seattle to win this by about 10 to 14 points.
Yeah, I agree that Seattle's going to win this. I don't know if I'm feeling 14 points. I think I'm feeling the 7 to 10 a little more. But it's very much because it's just the playoffs, and they still know each other well. And Shanahan's still a good coach, and they still have CMC. And if Purdy doesn't turn the ball over 2-3 times again, they can always keep it close. And it's just being Sam Darnold's second playoff game, so there's still some iffy parts to it. But I still think Seattle wins. I think they're more balanced. I think they can win through the air, through the ground, and I think that defense is better. I think they'll be able to shut down Purdy and the Niners again. I don't know if they hold them to 3 points, but I think holding them to 9, holding them to 12, 14 is realistic. So I think they are definitely going to put up more points offensively, and I think it's an easy Seattle win.
Yep. All right, great, man. We'll move on to this next one. Will the Bears cook up some magic once again at home versus the Rams this time?
I think they'll have their magic moments. I think Caleb Williams will probably make another throw that's just out of this world. Colston Loveland is probably going to look incredible again, and it's going to be third down, and it's going to go to Colston Loveland. It's going to be 3rd and 16, and it's going to go to Colston Loveland, and he's going to get it. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He's probably been, I think, their best player, most consistent player throughout this playoff run. This playoff week, and then the last part of the year. He's just been sensational. So I think they'll have that magic moment, but I don't think they'll have the magic moment at the end. I don't think they win. I'm taking the Rams. As much as I love Ben Johnson, I still think Sean McVay is a better coach as of right now. He's won the Super Bowl, obviously. He's been to another one. He's got the veteran quarterback. He's got the better receiving room. And I think they've got the better defense by a good amount. I know they just let up a ton of points to Carolina, but I do think that Shula is a better defensive mind than Denison, who's a good coach. But I just think it's set up for the Rams, even though it's away and it's going to be in the cold. I think this team's made to win. They've shown that they can pass well in the cold before. Yeah. I think they can do it.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to struggle in the first half again, and I think with Matthew Stafford with a lead, he's not Jordan Love. He'll put it away, especially in the playoffs. So
plus the Rams have 2 guys that you can go to on third down.
So I think it's going to start with how the Rams usually start their games. A lot of explosive passes to Puka, Devontae, down the field, up and down. And I think second half, with especially what they've seen from the Bears this year, with a lead, they'll lean on Kyren Williams more and get those chunk yards on the ground. And then 3rd and 3? You got 2 route technicians and the greatest offensive mind, a head coach. So they'll get those 3 yards. So to me, I think the Bears won't get as many opportunities in that second half to come back against the Rams, and I do think they'll definitely struggle early on, and I do think the Rams win here maybe 31-20 or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good outlook, and I think a lot of those Bears points do come in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, they'll be coming, but I think Matthew Stafford will have a dagger drive there with like 3 minutes left where he gets a touchdown, put him up 2 scores. But yeah, from an offensive kind of shootout game to a defensive battle, there might be 10 total points scored here in this one. Defensive battle in New England versus Texans. Who will prevail in your eyes here, man?
I'm going with the New England Patriots on this one. I think both defenses are excellent. I do think Houston's is a little better, but I do think I'd favor the New England offense right now a little more than I favor like the gap between the defenses. I just think Stroud just played a very bad game in a situation that I think is going to be like similar but to a higher level. I think you're going to be facing what's been playing a little better defense right now is New England over Pittsburgh. I think you're going to be probably even colder. I haven't really checked the forecast, but they're a little further north. And the crowd's obviously still going to be hostile there. So I think it's going to be a very bad situation for that Houston offense that is now coming in without Nico Collins, most likely. So I'm very concerned about that offense. Meanwhile, New England's a little healthier. They're playing at home, and they have a QB who he didn't have like this world-ending crazy game. He played a solid game. He's coming a little more confident than I feel like Stroud is.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. I think it also comes down to Houston won't be able to run the ball like they did against the Steelers, and that means more Stroud and no Nico Collins. I think it'll be more of the Chargers situations. I don't think this Texans O-line is the best either. I do think it's better than the Chargers, but I think it'll be similar as that Chargers game, and I think Drake May can maybe put up enough field goals to edge them in this game. And I do think the Patriots, with home field, better defense, better offense, better defensive mind, head coach, I am going to take the Patriots here.
Did we agree on all 4 games?
But yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, we did. We have 2 road teams, 2 home teams.
Nice.
A little different, but we'll move on to the game you guys have been waiting for here. The national championship on Monday here after the divisional round. We got Indiana versus Miami. Can Indiana become the first ever undefeated to be? It's 16-0 or be 17-0? I kind of messed up.
I think they're 15-0 right now.
So 16-0 team, or will Miami complete their Cinderella story from being out of the playoffs to winning it?
Both are great stories, but there's one that's better. There's one that's a movie. There's one that's a movie sequel, actually. No, Hoosiers 2 is what they should call it. I'm going with the Indiana Hoosiers. They've just been the best team in the country, I feel like, all year. They don't make the mistakes that Miami made against Louisville, that Miami made against SMU. Their quarterback's been playing better, especially in the playoffs. He's at 86.1% completion, 8 touchdowns, only 5 incompletions. He's just been phenomenal. Through the running game, I think it's 5 yards a carry right now for Hemby and 5.5 for Black. They're just phenomenal on the ground as well. And that defense, what they were able to do to Oregon and Alabama, I think is a lot more impressive than what Miami's was able to do. Even though I still think they're a really good defense to Ole Miss. So I'm going with Indiana. I think they're better at quarterback, better at running back. There's a debate at receiver because Malachi Tony's probably the best receiver playing in the game. O-line's another debate. I think the best player is probably at Miami, but Indiana's is a very great line. Yeah. And then defensively, I got to give D-line to Miami. The linebacker's an interesting level. And then DBs, feel like on paper I kind of want to go Miami just because of some of the names out there, but I might go Indiana with the way they've been able to play in some of these games.
Yeah. Yeah, Indiana has the Heisman, the guy behind the helm that just knows how to win.
Yeah, and kicker.
He wins.
Kicker 100% goes to Indiana.
Google him. They have the perfect season, but I think the papers that Tuesday morning I'm going to read the U is back.
The U's back. Wow.
It's crazy, man. I don't know why. I just feel it. I think it reminds me a little bit of that Ohio State team of last year. Obviously, Notre Dame last year isn't as good as Indiana is now, but it reminds me a little bit where they look like on paper one of the best teams. They showed it in multiple occasions early in the season. They were top 3 team.
Yeah.
They just stumbled, and I think this happened in Miami, and I think they got their chance in the playoff, and they're taking advantage, kind of like Ohio State did. And I just think that D-line is going to cause some havoc that Mendoza hasn't really had to experience yet. I do think it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a back-and-forth game. And I do think that Miami brings a rushing attack that Indiana hasn't had to face in the playoffs so far. Bama didn't really have a running game. And last game, Oregon didn't really have a running game. It was more through the air. So I think this more balanced attack is going to create more opportunities for Miami. And I do think the Miami Hurricanes pull up this upset, which 8.5 points is crazy. But
8.5 I thought 8.5 was high.
Yeah.
But I mean, after what they've done last 2 weeks, it's like, okay, it makes a little sense that they're going with that.
And I may look like a fool here, and Miami might lose by 20. Could happen, man. But I'm here. I'm going with my gut, and I'm not playing it scared. I'm here to make some bold takes.
It's definitely bold for sure.
Okay.
I just feel like the edge is way too much to Indiana, and I think that personnel-wise, player-wise, and that's not even talking about the coach, and I think they have the best coach in college football right now. I don't think Mario Cristobal is the best schemer. So I think the culture and just what Cignetti's been able to do, I really like Indiana in this game.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to best bets. I'll go straight into my kind of alluded to. I think 8.5 points is too much, even if Indiana finds a way to win. I do think Miami is good enough to keep it within 8.5 points, especially with that defense. And then I got the signature parlay. This time I just got Seahawks money line and Bills plus 3.5 points. I do think the Bills win this game, but I think they're favored by 1, but moved it up a little bit for 3.5 just in case they lose. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. And then the last one, I got Pats minus 2.5. I just think this defense is too good, and Texans are missing too much offensively, and I think they have the edge everywhere, so I'll take that field goal with the Pats here.
Yeah, I'm going with the Houston one as well. Just as you said it, for a lot of the same reasons.
You mean the Pats?
Oh, you said Pats?
Minus 2.5.
Oh, the line. I'm taking Houston. Sorry, I thought you said Houston.
Oh no.
I think they're within a few, because I have it at 3.5 from the sportsbook I saw. So I think they don't lose by more than a field goal.
Gotcha.
So I thought, wow, I misheard some of what you said.
No, I said Pats.
No, I'm taking Houston plus 3.5. As much as I don't love Stroud in this game, I love that defense. I think it'll be low scoring, and I think they'll be able to keep him in to where they don't lose by more than a field goal. The other one I have is Buffalo plus 1.5. I think they're winning, so simple as that. And even if they lose, it's probably going to be by more than a point if they lose. That's not. But I just think they win. That's why I have them. I'll take the 1.5 points to be safe. And then the others, I'm going with a couple of over-unders. I've liked them all year. Of course, the Dallas one not hitting in the last game of the year hurt me, but we're giving them a chance anyway. I got the Rams and the Bears in the over. I think it's going to be an offensive game.
What is it?
48.5.
48.
I mean, I was kind of expecting this one to be like a Cowboys game, to be at 51, 52.5. It wasn't. I think these two teams have kind of gotten here because of their offenses, and I think that's going to show up and show out, even in the cold weather. And then I have Miami versus Indiana, also in the over at 47.5. I've just seen Indiana put up crazy amount of points on elite defenses, and I think that this Miami offense is going to be able to put up a lot more points than some of the other offenses put up on Indiana so far. So I think 47.5 is very likely to hit.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the college football championship. Enjoy divisional weekend. 3 straight days of football now. Love to see it. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, tune in for future videos.